We're live.
Huzzah! I can't stop singing that fucking King Dice song from Cuphead.
I was just listening to that yesterday.
King Dice. The game is still land. I'm nice. I'm the devil's right hand man. It's so good. I just want to sing it constantly in my bathroom.
Then you should. And also in other places, if you feel like it.
Especially in public, I'm thinking.
Yes. Anywhere you feel like it. Not just when you're taking a poop.
Right.
As I should get all my things is open.
Yes, that is what I'm currently doing.
Oh my god. Like, for some reason, my computer signed me out of everything.
Oh no.
Which means now I have to try to remember what my OneDrive password is. Let's see.
Right, I'm just like, oh no.
Well, I remembered it, but now they have to send me a verification code.
Oh god, what?
Well, I have the two-step verification turned on. Oh, I have to type in the last 4 digits of my phone number first.
Oh god. You've trapped yourself in a tall house of shit, is what you're saying.
Regardless of how many times I say, do not ask me again on this device, it keeps asking me again.
Yeah, actually, I've had that as well with a Google account. And I'm just like, I said don't ask me on this device.
I assume my IP address got reset or something, so it doesn't know.
The worst.
Oh, fuck off. You fuck off. What was that?
That's my fuck off sound.
Oh.
Fuck off.
The F didn't come through, so it was just like,
oh. I'm a chicken now. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
I mean, I wouldn't be totally surprised if that was the noise you made, so.
Yeah, if I turn into a chicken, or, well, since, depending on which side of the Velociraptor name debate you fall on, you know, what Jurassic Park Velociraptors are Utah Raptors, and the actual Velociraptors are much smaller. And it's not Michael Crichton's fault for not knowing that, actually. It was being contested when he was writing the fucking book, so he just bet on the wrong horse. But the real Velociraptors were feathered and were smaller and basically were demonic chickens. So I would be turned into that kind of chicken, and then I could go, fuck off.
That sounds terrifying.
Right?
Computer.
Why geese are such assholes. They're pretty much just fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah. They are assholes.
Goddamn sauropsids. Are you casting a spell?
Yes. The spell was to open my garage band.
Ooh!
And I did.
Hail Satan.
Indeed. Full of grace.
I know. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. To you too, kitty. I've already fed you. I don't know what your deal is.
I can has more food?
She hasn't even eaten it all, though.
That doesn't mean she doesn't want more.
No, that's true. Maybe she wants treats. Because treats are separate from foods.
I want treats.
Do you want cat treats?
No. No, I don't. I want cookies treats.
Oh my god, our Latin speakers are talking in Latin in the chat.
I know, I was ignoring them.
See, I'm like, yay! But also, nerds!
I'm just going with the second one there. Just the nerds one.
I mean, I think that's kind of a foundation of sand for us to stand on, calling other people nerds.
Sure. I'm fine with that.
No cognitive dissonance for you?
Nope. Or all the cognitive dissonance.
Potions are so tasty.
Bring me those contracts. Bring them to the king. Don't mess with king dice. Don't mess with king dice. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with king dice. Mess with king dice. Don't you mess with me. What was that? Oh, just scissors. I was like, was that
sewing scissors.
Oh. So not to be used on paper.
Definitely not.
I've heard that that's a good way to be murderized. Is to use somebody's sewing scissors on paper.
It is. Because I have very specific paper scissors as well that are not to be used on other things.
Well, you do often make an art or two.
On occasion. But those are not the ones I use for them.
It smells like bacon in here. I don't mean in the chat.
No, I farted in the chat, and that's why it smells like bacon.
Oh, you farted into the chat. That's great.
Yep.
That smells can now transcend digital space.
Yep.
Cool.
I've
missed your comedy farts with your doctorate degree.
Yes.
Oh, is this a Rogue Blythe? Does a Rogue Blythe appear?
It's a fucking comedy of errors over here tonight.
Comedy bears?
Comedy of errors? I feel like
I thought you said comedy bears.
No.
You're like, it's fucking comedy bears over here tonight. I'm like, is that like a Showbiz Pizza reference?
It's a sex thing.
It's a sex thing. Comedy bears is a sex thing.
Yep.
What, where you cover your sexual partner in honey and then attack them because they're covered in honey?
No. Dislike.
I guess not then.
That happens after.
Okay. Jesus, hot in here.
So hot in her.
Okay.
That must be nice. I am covered in a blanket that I'm keeping just off screen because it's freezing in here.
I'm wearing a cashmere sweater.
It's fucking like chilly outside, but if I open the door, all of my loud ass neighbors who have no regard for anyone else in the fucking apartment complex.
That is very true of your neighbors.
Yeah. We've experienced this.
Literally been outside and they'll just like have full conversations, but across the parking lot from each other. Like walk across and meet each other and have it at a reasonable level. Stop screaming at each other.
That would make way too much sense.
This morning at 8 o'clock, someone was just like slamming on their horn. And when that wasn't getting the results they wanted, they just started going beep, 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 beep. And I was just like, I hate you. I want to set you on fire.
I think you have, it's legal, especially in Texas, to slingshot a rock through their windshield, Dennis the Menace style, if that happens.
That sounds fucking great. Honestly.
Right? I'm pretty sure you can do that. Or if you have a big bag of wasps, you can just throw it at them.
I mean, who doesn't have a big bag of wasps?
Just lying around.
I don't.
Just hanging out, waiting to be thrown at something.
Bag of wasps.
I could probably find other things to throw, though.
Yeah, but would they be as effective as a bag of wasps?
They'd probably be.
Bag of wasps. It has to be like O with the
It's just all like white Anglo-Saxon.
I mean, those fuckers, they're just like both so boring and so condescending.
A dime a dozen, though. I could fucking get them so easily.
I don't think you could lift a bag of those, though.
Those wasps?
Yeah.
You're probably right.
There's a bag of holding full of wasps. You could
okay.
lift them.
No, there it is. Okay. Does everybody have their audio equipment up and ready to go?
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic. And okay, so we're gonna hit record. Here we go. And oh god, I'm getting okay. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Everybody, take a look at your levels. Maybe say a little something.
Oh shit, mine died. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Your levels died?
No, not my levels. They're recording. Something went weird. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna need to start mine. Okay.
That's fine. I can all just clap.
Okay.
Actually, Amanda, let's all just stop.
Okay.
Stop. We'll delete it. Deleted. Now we record. Okay. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Recording in 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna clap. 3, 2, 1. Wow, that was like all together.
Yeah, actually.
That's crazy. Okay, everybody talk a little bit. Look at those levels. Rissy, you may need to get your microphone closer to you, not by too much, because I don't want you to overload it, but last week it was a little low.
Okay, let's see. I'm Mr. King Dice. I'm the gamest in the land. I never play nice. I'm the devil's right-hand man.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, what else? Okay, I have my show notes. Do you guys have your show notes?
Yes.
Well, since we got a late start, because I'm fucking clumsy, let's go ahead and start.
That's one of the things I think of when I think of Blythe. It's clumsiness.
Well, dancers oftentimes are, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
It's if you're not dancing, like when dancing, you have a dex like 18, but when just ordinarily moving around.
Yeah, we dumb as
like
fuck.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not all the time, but yeah, I do real dumb shit sometimes. I need to turn this up. That's good. Okay. Okay, I'm ready if you guys are.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Hello, and welcome to episode 83 of the Dork Pridecast. My name is Blythe.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Rissy. We make up a comedy group called the Damsels of Dorkington, and this is our podcast, which is also funny, depending on how much you like poop jokes and dick jokes, or if you are drunk. We are not currently drunk. That was on Sunday.
But we hope that you are drunk.
Yes.
So yeah, hi guys.
Yeah.
I am warning everyone right now, I am frazzled. Approximately 25 minutes ago, I had my hands full and was trying to get past one of those shitty TV tray, not TV tray, but like no, I guess it's TV tray. Yeah, a little TV tray, and it frequently falls apart. Well, I hit one of the legs and it made it fall apart, and it had a glass that was half full of water.
Isn't this like the second time in the last month that TV tray has caused a liquid catastrophe?
Yes, Although last time it was soup.
Yeah.
I caught the soup and did not spill it. So it was just a bit of my hands were full and there was a juggling act to make sure everything was righted again while my hands were full. But yeah, for sure. This has happened.
Maybe it's time for this TV tray to, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware. It's just, I don't have a replacement. And I don't know if we've discussed this before, but like, I don't even have a coffee table. So, and we definitely don't have a dining table because this is where it should be. But I don't know if you noticed, but this is actually my podcast area. So I don't have anything to eat on.
Do you have like a board that you could get from a dumpster and a bunch of books?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to eat on a board I got from the dumpster. What is wrong with you?
I mean, what isn't wrong with me? Would be a better question.
I just haven't gotten around to going and finding a more secure
board. A nice board from a nice dumpster.
Garbage. Yes. That's what I meant.
There's all kinds of good shit in the garbage. People just leave it there.
I mean,
there's all kinds of shit in the garbage.
Yes, you have to wade through shit.
Well, yeah, but that's half the fun. It's the art of the deal.
No, it's not.
Okay, so Josh in the chat says, didn't you once want to eat parking lot bread? Yes, that parking lot bread had clearly just been dropped in the parking lot and was still bagged and had just been dropped and forgotten. It wasn't
your own guitar, bitch.
Fucking dumpster. It wasn't even near the dumpster. It was literally next to someone's car. It was not something someone had purposefully thrown into a dumpster with other items that people had thrown into a dumpster, and they'd all mingled together. Anyway.
Life is a smorgasbord, smorgasbord, smorgasbord.
I mean,
I'm not saying.
It's fine. Just call me Templeton. I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, can we both be Templeton? Or can I be like the Mrs. Templeton?
Listen, you can be whatever you want to be. I tried to eat parking lot bread. Deal with it.
You could be my rat wife, or I could be your rat husband, or your rat wife.
This whole thing is getting real weird to me.
I'm just sitting back and allowing it to happen.
Like weird rat spinsters
together. Well, see, I was hoping though that we could be rat spouses, because then Amanda, because in the movie, right, there's Templeton and he eventually gets married, and then Amanda could be our rat children. Because Amanda, I don't know if you knew this about Amanda, but she can turn into a swarm of rats.
It's true.
I thought you were going to say she could turn into a 12-year-old child. Or 11? Sorry.
That's might have something to do with her character in our D&D campaign, but we can't really talk about that shit because we haven't hit that level on our Patreon yet.
Well, sure. But we have talked about it in the past, so the people listening to this already know at least that much.
True, yeah. But also she can turn into a swarm of rats.
That's one I didn't know.
I can't.
Okay.
She's making that up.
No, I'm not.
That doesn't sound like a thing Rissy would do.
Locusts, maybe, but not a swarm of rats.
Locusts, sure, not rats.
It's really weird.
I can turn into one rat with the help of our druid friend.
That's true.
By him turning me into a rat. So
I'm a real big fan of Josh's character turning our characters into various animals, and then just us like hanging out as animals.
We do some of our best role play when we're like, we're birds and we're pecking at each other and we're doing this with our wings.
We're lizards sneaking through the city. And because our party is so antisocial, that many times we would all rather just be animals and hang out with each other that way. My character has basically been spending nearly all of her time in bat form because she has a cloak of the bat, to the extent where she's like constantly eating dried fruit. Even
are you the one who just said we can't talk about this?
Well, you got me started.
No, I didn't.
Well, someone did.
You did.
You did.
You did.
It's the devil. It was actually Satan who did that.
That's also you.
Well, yeah. Okay. Agreed.
Full of grace.
Well, that's fun. So yeah, it's been a fun evening so far. Does anybody else? Amanda, what you doing over there?
Nothing. Why? Why? What do you see?
Nothing.
Reflections of okay.
Don't look behind you.
Damn it.
It's art you made. Sorry.
I thought there was a spider, or that she was masturbating.
I was masturbating to pictures of spiders.
Oh, gross! Why?
And I was afraid you would be able to see it in the reflection, but it's not the right way. So.
But they were sexy spider.
Yes.
From Saga.
I don't know about Saga.
Yes.
Half spider, half tits.
The stalk.
Babylon 5 did it first.
Okay, I don't know why. Okay.
Although not quite as sexy, but definitely concerned with people's desires.
Everyone sit in the awkwardness of Rissy just shitting on things because Babylon 5 is better. Things she hasn't read, by the way.
I mean, that's the story of my life, right? Other people say things and be like, well, actually, Babylon 5 did it first and better.
That is the story of your life, but I just feel like we all need to sit in it when you do it.
Just let the awkward silence stretch out and then be like, so.
I don't mind, because in my head, like, you know how Homer Simpson has like the monkey and the organ grinder in his mind all the time? Like that's his thought process. In my thoughts, it's just Babylon 5. And I'm just like.
I've never seen it.
Me neither.
I know.
Did you guys do anything interesting this week that's not related to Babylon 5?
Everything is related to Babylon 5, Homer.
Well, I don't even. What voice was that?
That's Reverend Lovejoy. So, when
Homer
decides to stop going to church on Sundays.
Oh, please don't explain Simpsons inside jokes. I get enough of that at home. I don't need it here too.
All right. Everything is about Jesus. Homer is the original.
Okay. Oh God, too much Simpsons for a girl who was not allowed to watch Simpsons.
Oh, I wasn't either. That's why I watched it.
Well, I didn't have that luxury.
See, if I had not been explicitly forbidden from watching The Simpsons, I probably wouldn't have tried so hard to watch it. But this isn't going to be about Jesus, is it? I've actually used that line on people, like at the University of Chicago. Every so often, you'd have various churches, and they'd come up and be like, hi, and I'm like, this isn't going to be about Jesus, is it? And they would always be like, one of them like, it doesn't have to be, and I'm like, bye.
I love that it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Like, how are you gonna like change things up to make it not about Jesus?
Right. Yeah.
We can talk about abortion instead.
Oh,
about Jesus.
Great.
If you'd prefer, no.
I would not.
I totally would not.
Do not want. But yeah, I found that strategy actually works a lot better than anything else I've ever tried from getting away from those motherfuckers. So yeah, just for all those of you out there, like, if you're trying to escape the Jesus people on your college campus or anywhere out in public, just pretend to be terrified of them.
I don't think you necessarily have to pretend.
Yep, Amanda's right where I was going.
Yep.
Thank you. Gosh, that's weird. Okay, somebody tell some interesting thing that they did this week or something nerdy, because I have nothing, because all I did was taxes and prepare for our anniversary celebration. So we'll get to that, but somebody say something interesting first, please.
Oh, I was gonna say that's really, I mean, since Sunday, that's all I've done is work on graphics for.
Yeah,
I've been photoshopping things.
Yeah, but pretty epically. So
yeah,
it's been pretty great.
I've been prepping John for Avengers Infinity War.
Define prepping.
Well, there's a lot of lubricants involved. And,
okay, that's good.
But no, we've been watching some of the Marvel movies that he hasn't seen, like Guardians 2, that kind of thing, like in preparation for it.
Okay, that's good that you're doing that, but I'm a little judgy about the fact that there's like multiples that he hasn't seen up until now.
I mean, I don't demand of the man in my life that he have seen all the Marvel movies that I've seen.
I do.
Well, I'm sure he'll take you very seriously on that, Blythe.
I haven't seen all the Marvel movies.
Well, that's why you're not the man in my life.
Well, that's true.
This could be us, but you playing.
And I gotta admit, they have really just been creating some good shit lately. Just kind of, rewatching these movies. I'm like, wow, like things have improved so much. Like, I really didn't care for the original Avengers movie. I liked the first Iron Man and parts of the second one. I liked 2/3 of the first Thor movie, right? There's they've really been uneven for quite a while. But then at some point, it's like they've just consistently been really good. So yeah, it's been refreshing.
I watched my husband set up a video game cheat system, but he swears it's not cheating.
So what is this? What is the system?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
so there's the game is called Ori and the Dark Forest, and there's a spells tree or a skills tree, but there's 3 options, and in the tree you can go one of 3 ways. Well, you can go, actually it's not a one. Okay, guys,
it's a skills tree. I know how they work.
Yes, but it's not one of those skills trees where you pick one and that's the one you're stuck on.
I haven't understood any.
I haven't. Most that I play, you can pick any. It's just there are prerequisites for stuff later. But
wait, is this not a literal tree that you're in?
It's a skill tree.
Do you get the skills from being in the tree? And you eat apples of knowledge?
Ignore her. Continue with your story.
She knows, right? She's just being retarded.
Well, no, I thought the game was about being in the tree.
No.
Shouldn't use that word. Brain isn't working. I apologize.
You can say frittata instead.
Okay, frittata. That's what I said. Anyway, apparently, if you have a full playthrough of the game, you can probably finish 1 branch of the skill tree, but not all 3. And he was like, fuck this. And he went online and found a way that you can get your character up into a corner, and as long as you keep engaging the jump button, she'll stay up in this corner while an enemy repeatedly kills itself and you get the points for it. But you have to keep hitting the jump button.
Oh my god.
So he had to stream the game from the Xbox to his laptop running Windows 10, which he didn't have, by the way. He went and downloaded.
Specifically for this hack?
Specifically for this hack.
That's, wow, the great caper.
Exactly. And then
the great skill tree caper of 2018.
And then set up a macro to hit the jump button?
Well, he has a special Xbox controller that, for whatever reason, I don't know the details on it, but it would work, whereas a normal Xbox controller would not work. But this Xbox controller was maybe from 360 generation, so it wouldn't plug into the Xbox One and work, which is why he had to stream it to the computer, because it would plug into the computer and work. So he gets all this done, and then he has to set it up. So he takes Scotch tape. And
anybody have any tape?
Pushes, the angle of where you're heading, and just puts Scotch tape all up on it so it stays to the right.
Faced that way.
Upright angle. And then pushes down the jump button and then puts tape around that. So he's just repeatedly jumping up and to the right.
Oh my god.
It was
back and to the left. It's up and to the right now.
Up and to the right, yes. And anyway, the whole time I was making graphics for our birthday. And the whole time I was just watching this, fascinated. I was like, this is a lot of work. And there's a lot of effort to just cheat the system. And he was like, hey, this isn't a cheat. I'm not cheating. This is a game mechanic that I'm exploiting. Sure, but I'm not cheating. Okay.
He said, feverishly wrapping the tape around the controller.
Anyway, it was a beautiful thing to behold, I have to say. I've never seen anyone go to those lengths. He is determined. So anyway, that was fun to like watch.
Josh says in the chat, Blythe, you and Sean deserve each other. Smiley face.
I'm fine with it. It's just anyway. But we're getting ready. If you're not aware, for our 8th anniversary party, and we're having a full week of celebrations.
Yeah, we are.
We will be starting on Sunday. We're doing an extra podcast on Sunday right here. Pretty much everything is going to start at least at 8 o'clock. Definitely check Facebook and YouTube because we're going to be streaming every single night in one of those places. So we're trying to do some Facebook live streaming, just because that's where we have a lot of likes on our Facebook, but Facebook throttles our posts. So a lot of those fans don't actually know we even have a podcast.
Yeah.
So we're trying to take this opportunity to be like, surprise.
Bitches.
Surprise!
We do stuff. Now follow it over here. It is not a drunk Pridecast on Sunday, although who knows?
It's not an official. It's not an official drunk Pridecast. We'll be drunk if we feel like it. Okay.
Yeah. And realistically,
it's our birthday.
Yeah, that's right. It's our birthday. We can drink if we want to.
Boom, 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 boom. Yo, shawty, it's your birthday.
So that's gonna be fun. We're also gonna have goals for reaching new Patreon levels because we really want to get to that 750 level. But that'll be like bonus podcasts as well.
It's
so yeah, so Amanda and I both have been just fucking cranking out social media graphics, and I've been scheduling email blasts and posts and all kinds of things. So and taxes were due on Tuesday, which, by the way, I was a smart girl, and I decided to submit my taxes before I went to work on Tuesday. I meant to do it on Monday and then just promptly forgot that was the thing I was supposed to do. Sometimes I do that. I just get home and my brain melts out my ears.
Right, and you're just like, I don't have to brain anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I woke up the next morning and I was like, oh, shit. So yeah, I decided I would do it right then. So if I ran into any problems, I could deal with them later. It was a process, but I got it done, got them submitted, and then apparently later that night, the fucking IRS website went down, which is crazy to me. Like, who at the IRS doesn't realize almost everyone is filing electronically these days? It's very strange. Did you guys get your taxes done?
Sure. I had mine done like months ago.
How nice for you.
Yeah.
Yours are a little easier than mine.
Mine are like the easiest ever. I have one extra thing, and that's the interest I pay on my student loans. And that's really it. That's the only thing that's, yep. Because I don't own a house, and I don't make that much money, and I don't do other things that matter.
God, I miss those days, I have to say.
Yeah.
In the chat, Joshua Donovan says, hey, Rissy, someone I know said apparently the Anita Blake books had calmed down. I'm not sure how much, but I don't really care. Figured I'd mention it because of your comments last podcast. You know, that would be really interesting. Because what I heard, like, about, basically there's, like, the first 5 books where they're basically just, you know, kind of supernatural detective stories with some romance in it. But nobody even starts fucking until the 6th book, and then it just explodes in bizarro erotica shit with werewolves and vampires, and all the people's powers are based on weird sex shit, and it just gets more sexed up and crazier. And there's like, I think 26 books at this point. So
that's a lot.
That is a lot of fucking books. Yeah. I have not actually read any of the Anita Blake books. I mean, I think I've read like part of one because I'm just not really into that kind of thing. But, you know, after I heard about it, I was like, I read some of the plot and I'm like, oh God, this sounds horrible. Like, how many orgies are in this book? Like
a lot.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that would be kind of interesting. Like if it had actually like managed to course correct, maybe Laurel K. Hamilton, since she has that other series that's all with the fairies and whatnot, that straight up was nothing but fucking from the very first. Maybe now that she has that outlet, I don't know, she can. Although it would kind of, to me, the worst thing about the Anita Blake books was that thing you sent me, Amanda, where Laurel K. Hamilton had basically, so first of all, the Anita Blake character is a self-insert is a very Mary Sue self-insert of Laurel K. Hamilton herself. The way that Anita Blake is described as dressing and looking is basically like Laurel K. Hamilton if she wasn't a dumpy middle-aged woman. And her self-insert is married to or has been married to or is dating all of the hot dudes and occasionally some of the hot women. But there was this scene that she wrote where a dude who represents her ex-husband, Richard, who is a werewolf, has gotten engaged to someone else, and he wants to introduce his new fiance to Anita and her current dude at the time, who is a vampire, and they meet in a restaurant, and basically the entire scene is about how jealous the new fiance is of how awesome and beautiful and sexy Anita Blake is, and she eventually leaves in tears. I'm like, this is one of the worst things that has ever been committed to literature. This might actually be worse than Hitler. It was just so fucking blatantly, horrifyingly bad. Like, oh, damn, Laurel K. Hamilton, you could have spent the time writing this in therapy, dealing with your massive physical insecurity issues, instead of inflicting this on the unsuspecting public.
Maybe that's what she wrote it for, and then she realized she could also get it published.
Right.
She did.
But yeah, it was one of those, like, I'm reading it and my brain is constantly like trying to roll for disbelief because it was just so goddamn terrible. And I'm like, no, surely no author would be this obvious about their self-insertness, where everyone is like, well, Richard's fiance, I just don't see why you can't be as sexy and perfect as the author. It's just, she's so amazing and you should really like her, even though she's much better than you.
This has been Segues with Rissy.
Right.
Rissy, have you been reading anything else? Obviously, you haven't been reading Anita Blake novels.
No, life is too short to read that much trash.
Well, you sure know a lot about them for not having read them.
You know me, I can't fucking help it. I have fandom osmosis. This is why I know all about Doctor Who, but I don't like Doctor Who, and I've seen approximately 1.5 episodes of Doctor Who, and yet my brain is full of knowledge about Doctor Who. I really cannot help myself. I also thought it would be fun to do a project where, like basically analyzing the trends in erotic and romantic paranormal fiction, because I noticed something odd in a couple of stories that I had read or had heard reviews of, and it's that the werewolves or were-creatures in a lot of these stories never actually transform within the story. Like, they are werewolves, but they don't actually.
Literally just talked about this on like the last 2 podcasts.
I know, but I thought it would be actually, because I talked about it then, I'm like, maybe I should do like a project for this. So that's part of why I've been reading the summaries of a lot of Anita Blake.
You don't have to hide the fact that you're disinterested in this stuff. I mean, we'll mock you for it, but you don't have to.
If I'm going to get weird erotica, I was like reading a summary of Anita Blake books and I looked up and I'm like, I would actually rather in terms of erotica, reread that book where the cave chick fucks a T-Rex. I would find that infinitely more erotic.
Is that taken by the T-Rex?
Yes, it is. That T-Rex, infinitely more sexy than a bunch of werewolf dudes.
Who never become werewolves?
Right. Some of them in the Anita Blake stories do.
It's kind of like a if a tree falls in the woods sort of deal. Like, if a werewolf never transforms, are they still a werewolf?
Right. Oh, okay.
If they identify as a werewolf, then you should respect that. And
absolutely right.
So Josh O'Donovan points out Stephen King has appeared in almost all the movies based on his books. Jason says, although King didn't make himself the hero of the story, checkmate atheists, King actually does make himself the hero of the story. Literally, Stephen King himself in the 5th book of the Dark Tower series.
Well, that was what was mentioned first. Stephen King.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not the hero. He's just a character in the books. He's not the hero of the story.
He's pretty important, though. He's the one who basically...
He's not the hero.
No, but he's pivotal, right? The characters have to save his life. So he's actually like the damsel in distress type.
Which is not the hero.
No, but he's important. He's important enough to make it really awkward.
I actually liked the way he did that. I know that there were people that had issues with like the way he ended the series and the self-insertion, but I like it was kind of weird, and I get why people didn't like it, but I
hated the self-insert, but I actually loved the way the series ended. I thought it was an awesome fucking ending. Like the ending. I thought that was actually a really cool way of doing things, but I don't mind that kind of ending in fiction. So I'm right there with you, Amanda, on the ending, not so much the self-insert. I thought that was ridiculous. The only other author that I know of who has literally written themselves by name into their own fiction is a dude named Lynn Carter, who was a gigantic chode waffle, and wrote science fiction. He's like, imagine Isaac Asimov, but shittier. And boringer, and literally writes himself into his own books.
Isn't there's a series kind of like Black Mirror on Amazon Prime Video that is based on? It's like Black Mirror. It's all like short. Each episode, I think, just encapsulates pretty much itself, but it's all based on. Oh wait, is it Isaac Asimov or is it Philip K. Dick? Damn it! I think I confused myself. I'm just gonna close my mouth.
But your mouth is so much better when it's open.
I just wondered if anyone had seen it. Have you guys watched it?
No.
I heard really good things about it. Never mind. Bad segues. You know, Isaac Asimov, Philip K. Dick. I heard they're the same person. Has anyone ever seen them together?
Sometimes I get Isaac Asimov and Ray Bradbury mixed up.
Okay, Ray Bradbury is infinitely superior.
It doesn't matter. I sometimes get them mixed up. So, and I'm like, never mind.
Ray Bradbury is the one that Rachel Bloom sang a song about. That's how you remember.
Yes.
Well, he's so fucking awesome and so underrated. I hate it that Asimov gets all this love and Bradbury gets shit on.
Bradbury does not get shit on. Bradbury is pretty well loved.
That's a very recent development. For a long, long time, Bradbury was like the also ran of the American science fiction canon, and it drove me fucking bonkers. So, although I would actually say Bradbury is one of his greatest strengths was as a writer of horror, and that's something he never got respect for either. Bradbury, so awesome. Oh, apparently Lynn Carter wrote mostly Conan-style fantasy, according to John Latch. But is that what he wrote himself into? I'm curious. Because, like, did he literally make himself the the Conan character? Because that would be an even suier Sue than Anita Blake, I will admit. I think that would claim the Sue crown.
I mean, at least it wouldn't be trying to hide it.
Right.
I guess that's the, like, yeah, that sort of thing where you write, if you were to write yourself into your story, but make yourself be this cool, awesome person, I guess that was why I liked Stephen King's self-insert, was it was more meta than, it was just more these people realize that they're living in a fictional world that he's created, and therefore their existence depends on his existence. And so if he were to die, they would not exist anymore, or that their story wouldn't be finished or something like that. So it's that he exists and he has written himself in, and yes, it's an important role, but it's not, I don't know.
He's not the handsomest thing ever.
Yeah, he wrote himself kind of as he is. Now, I'm sure he took some liberties with the guy who in real life hit him with his car and almost killed him. That dude was not portrayed in the most positive of lights, but that's to be expected.
No shit.
Somebody who hits you with their car and almost kills you, you maybe don't have the loveliest of feelings about them, but
actually his portrayal in the Dark Tower was probably pretty close to true. So in his book on writing, he actually describes that accident in great detail, and apparently after hitting him with his truck, and I think the guy was drunk at the time, he's like, he gets out of his truck and he sees Stephen King and he's freaking the fuck out. And he's like, I just wanted to go down to the general store to get me some of them little Mars's bars that they sell there. And Stephen King remembered thinking, I'm going to be killed by one of my own characters. Oh God, oh God. So the not flattering portrayal may actually have been the most accurate part of that.
Those things aren't mutually exclusive.
But yeah. And I was always glad he could have some humor about that, because, man, I remember being terrified that he was going to die when that happened.
I'm sure he was probably even more terrified than you were.
Well, sure, yeah.
But yeah. I mean, yeah, Stephen King is hit or miss. He's written some really good stuff. He's written some crap, but
I mean, whenever you write that much stuff, some of it is going to be crap. Let's not forget, Shakespeare wrote some crap too. Pericles, Prince of Tyre is garbage.
Yeah, but did Shakespeare really write any of that stuff?
You.
I'm just saying.
I do.
I had a big update come through on Animal Crossing.
Oh.
That I'm pretty excited about. They tweaked the game a little bit, and I've been even more into it than I was previously.
Is that possible?
Yes, I think. Is anybody in the chat playing Animal Crossing? I think I'm the only one. Well, largely because it appeals mostly to women.
Is it for like 5-year-olds?
No, it's not at all. But it is, most of their fan base, their player base, is like women around my age.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
That's true. So it's very interesting. I have several friends who play, and we actually have a chat. We have a chat on Facebook Messenger. So when events happen, we can like all help each other and be like,
that's adorable.
I collected these. What do you guys need? I'll drop them in your garden, or, just whatever.
So that you don't have to like post it on your page, like somebody send me strawberries or whatever the fuck.
This is all code for lesbian sex, isn't it?
God, I wish.
Yeah.
Well, I'll drop this in your garden. Your lady
I've
garden.
got plenty of extra cucumbers. Just tell me where you want me to put them.
This is the sort of thing that parents would get into a moral panic about. Like, our children say that they're playing Animal Crossing, but when they're talking about it on Facebook, it's all code for filthy sex acts. It could be like the rainbow parties of this generation.
Yeah, of course. It's the eggplant emoji, like,
right?
Just a million of them. I need eggplants. More eggplants. Bigger eggplants.
You do like
Veinier
purple.
eggplants.
I do. I am typically covered in purple.
Yep.
Knobby, veiny eggplants.
Knobby?
Have you ever seen an eggplant?
I thought you were about to ask, have you ever seen a dick?
I mean, I wondered that as well.
I've seen some weird dicks.
Apparently. You've
We
seen
all
some,
have.
like, diseased, cancerous dicks that have weird growths on them if they're, like, knobby. If they're, like, knobby enough that you would describe them as knobby.
That's fair. No, but he told me he'd had alterations for my pleasure.
Yeah. No, it's a tumor.
It
It's a
spins.
tumor.
It spins so it can hit different spots.
It's not a tumor.
I mean, if it spins, I'm impressed.
Yeah, actually. I mean, because you basically have to detach it and then reattach it with some kind of spinning apparatus.
Yes.
And that'd be kind of cool.
Right? Get on that, science.
Yeah. Science. Mr. Science Man.
That's
Our
not
chat
really how-
is currently full of taco parties, eggplants, and mushrooms with water droplets next to them. You guys never let us down.
I know, right? They are
Also, now I'm hungry.
on point.
For turgid eggplants is
No. I could tear into a taco, though.
oh my yes.
A fish taco.
Delicious.
I mean, I guess.
Fish tacos are legitimately my favorite.
With some sriracha mayo.
Ugh. Gross.
That's wonderful.
I'll take it.
Yeah, God, I love sriracha mayo. They sell it here in Canada, thank God.
Oh God, what would you do? You couldn't possibly buy sriracha and mayo and combine them yourself.
I would be afraid that I'd get it wrong somehow because I wasn't following the right formula, the secret formula.
If only you could stick your finger in it and put it in your mouth and go, too mayo-y, and add more sriracha. There's
But what
literally
if it was
two
too
ingredients.
sriracha-y?
Yeah.
Two
What then?
ingredients.
She has all the points, Rissy. I'm sorry.
So everyone is prone to their own form of magical, illogical thinking. This is just mine.
Some more than others.
Yes.
This is just one of yours, I think.
That is true.
Yeah.
Amanda, what else have you done?
Why are
I
you
know.
asking me? I already said I didn't do anything.
That's true.
Why you gotta fucking rub it in, man?
Well, I
the
just
most
wish my-
exciting thing I have is that my computer logged me out all my shit when it restarted, and when I got a thing from Twitter asking if I'd logged in, it says I was in California because that's where Google Fiber is located, and it confuses me sometimes because it says there's been a new login from Mountain View, California, and that's not where I fucking live. And I'm like, wait, is somebody actually trying to hack it? No, it's me. It's just confused.
Oh. Well, I just thought since, we talked and then Blythe remembered something that had happened, maybe.
Go fuck yourself. I don't remember things.
As a scientist, memory is not one of the requisite skills.
It's not. That's why I keep a really good lab notebook. I write shit down so I don't have to remember.
She loves elephants because she can't identify with them. She doesn't know what it's like to never forget.
Exactly.
Also,
Plus, how can you be afraid of mice? They're just so cute.
I know. I feel like we balance each other out, me and the elephant.
Yeah.
Are you saying your ideal life partner would be an elephant?
I'd be okay with that.
You could have you could live on its back, like in a little, tent thing.
It could cradle you in its trunk, like when
like
Dumbo's
in
mommy.
Dumbo.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
not depressing.
I I mean, yeah, but also sweet.
I mean, so, like, the trunk cradling is sweet, but Dumbo as a whole is a fucking nightmare carnival.
Well, yeah, and those fucking racist-ass birds.
Oh, I know, yeah. And just the pink elephant scene, which is like, what the fuck?
I just want regular elephants. They don't have to be pink. Though they can be pink if they're cookie elephants, then I will eat them.
Well, sure. Oh, what if somebody could figure out there's like rum balls and, cookies with alcohol in them? You could make pink elephant cookies if they were like booze based or something along those lines. That would be awesome.
We have a friend, Rachel, who I have no doubt could do that. I wish we traveled through Springfield these days.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Probably get her. Yeah. She always made us boozy treats.
Yes, delicious boozy treats.
I want those.
They're real good. I know you never.
Those fucking unicorn cookie things.
You know what? I mean, listen. I have our artist also lives in Springfield, and she is a tattoo artist there, and I want her to tattoo me. Let's just, Amanda, we'll take like a
that's not far from me.
Tattoo and elephant cookie trip.
Okay.
Oh, I see. So Rissy can't come on this trip. Oh.
You can. It's just very expensive if you do.
I want to get tattoos and cookies.
And we could go to the drive-through zoo again.
Yes! Oh, fuck the safari. No, don't fuck the safari.
No, definitely.
Definitely don't do that. But yeah, that place is amazing.
It was like it's been a gross amount of years. It's been like 9 or 10 years.
9 or 10 years, yeah. Since we definitely need to go back. And we need to go to 1984. Hit up the arcade. I love that place. It's in Springfield, Missouri. It's this amazing, like, pay $5 at the door, get free play on all the machines, and they are all from 1984. It is fucking amazing. Springfield, Missouri, for being in many ways creepy and weird, has some really cool parts to it.
Yeah, we found
creepy
a lot
and weird.
Things.
It's just how close it is to Branson that makes you think that it is.
No, it's got a lot of scary evangelical Christian shit in it, like large chunks of Missouri.
It's the South. It's Southern Missouri. That's true of all of those places.
Amanda, you're just more used to that because you literally grew up in a similar place.
But what I was saying,
I did live in Springfield for a few years when I was.
Really?
Yeah, that's where my little brother was born. I mean, we only lived there for, I guess it was like 3 or 4 years. When my dad was in med school.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not a bad place. We have lots of friends there that we haven't seen in a very long time, and it makes us sad.
Too long. And I love the fucking safari, and their downtown area is actually really, really great. Because Springfield is also, after a fashion, a college town.
It's cute.
Really, really nice downtown.
It's funny because I don't go through there a lot. Like my grandmothers lived there, but they are dead, and. I mean that was the only reason we went there, where both my grandmothers live there, but
where both of your grandmother's vengeful spirits reside, terrifying the living.
One of them I would totally believe terrifies the living as a vengeful spirit. The other one, not so much.
Got off for her just reward.
But it's weird because like I have memories from when I was very young being there. Not, was not in an age where I was obviously not driving, but there will be, I'll be going through there and it's like, this seems familiar. I feel like if I were to go this way, I might, but it's one of those, like, you kind of want to go to a place and just drive around until you find things you're familiar with, but that is super boring for anybody else. Like let's go look at where we used to live is only fun for the people who used to live there. Yeah. Everybody else is bored to shit. So that's something I would only do with like my sister because nobody else would be interested. But
I mean, unless there's like a secret passage or some cool shit there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Or a vengeful ghost of your grandma.
Yeah, there's the secret passage that went under the road near where I lived where my best friend and I found a bag of porn when I was like 6. So
I would totally want to see that.
Yeah. The bag of porn, or
I mean, little column A, little column B.
The porn does not exist anymore, nor does the bag. But we'd found it. We'd found the bag, and then we kind of explored it, and then felt super guilty about it because it was naughty. And then my mom was having a garage sale, and I'm like, hey, we could sell this bag. So we took all the porn out and brought the bag, except there was like one piece of like one sheet of like, I don't know if it was a cover or something, but I just remember my mom had found it, and then she asked me about this, and her standing there just ripping it into smaller and smaller pieces, like as she's like, oh God, like clearly as I look back on it now, it was like oh God, what did you see? I feel so terrible that you saw this. But I remember thinking I was going to get in trouble, but I can totally picture her just sitting there like ripping it and ripping it.
This is like the best story ever. How have we not heard this?
Yeah,
before?
seriously. I can't believe you've held out this long.
I mean, it's not something I've thought about in many, many years, so.
Why are there always like weird porn stashes in the woods? Are they just the property of hobos? Or former hobos, or
it's usually people ditching them. It's kids typically who have found porn somewhere else or stolen it from their parents, and then they don't know what to do with it, or they start to get guilty, or somebody's been near it and they panic and they just go to typically it's the woods. There's so many stories. Of kids finding porn in the woods.
Yeah, or like the knothole of an old tree, like Boo Radley.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or the underpass under a road. Like this wasn't like a drainage pipe; it was like a full. I mean, as I remember it being a 6-year-old, maybe it was much smaller than I remember it being, but like it was a very open.
I've got to say, I've heard lots of stories of people finding porn.
Yeah.
In these sorts of places, but I've never heard the stories of someone ditching their porn.
Yes, I would actually like to hear about that. Like,
I would
like
too.
a Reddit AMA. Like, hey, or no, not an AMA, an Ask Reddit, like the thing, like, people of Reddit, who amongst you has ditched your porn in the woods and why did you do it?
Right. Yeah, something like that. Or like if we had a podcast and we could put it out to the listeners and say, hey guys, have you or anyone you know ever ditched porn somewhere, especially a bag of porn?
Yeah, like a big old bag. And
because this was a duffel bag. Like this was a giant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it was a big. It was that's why I took it home to sell at the garage sale, because it was like a nice bag.
Okay, so what that says to me is this is not a hobo or a kid. This is somebody's philandering husband who decided he had to take his entire stash and get rid of it. Either his wife made him or he was afraid that she was going to catch him with it. Because nice bag plus that much porn, especially this would have been in what, the mid to late 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that tells me that, this was a collector, right? And this is not just some random hobo.
Yeah, I wonder if like somebody went back for it at a later date and was very sad that it was gone.
My porn stash!
Although I have no, I mean, I assume we just left the porn there. We just took like the bag, so I have no idea what happened.
Okay,
there.
So I know this isn't normally my deal.
Oh boy.
But we're already here, and Amanda's already answered. Can we reverse engineer this into the Dork Pride Chat?
I'm okay with it.
I would love to know where everyone saw like the first porn or the porn that made the most impression on you. It doesn't necessarily have to be number one. Like, how did you come across it? Like, what sort of thing was it? Or, if you have a couple stories, because I definitely have like that first memory, but then I have another. Well, I talked about how I stumbled on a John Holmes video once.
Oh God!
So like that's memorable. But I was like 17. I'd definitely seen porn.
Right.
I mean, I'd seen dicks in person by then, so it was But that still like is burned into my brain, of just like holy shit, John Holmes is what. Anyway.
We have 2 people in the chat that said, so Tom Silk says, I didn't ditch my porn in the woods. I hid my porn in the woods when I was a teenager. That's where I'd go to read it. And John Latch said, yep, kept porn in the woods. See, that's kind of what I assumed. That's what I kind of assumed, was that it was left there, that that's like here's a place I can go and have privacy, not have to worry about someone walking in on me or somebody finding it. I
definitely masturbated in the woods. I just didn't have porn, so.
Wow.
And you can just like spooge wherever, and you don't have to worry about cleanup.
Right, being a girl, having internal genitals, so great, you guys. So
yeah, but there's no place to plug in my Hitachi in the woods. So. That's
I don't know. I like ooze for like half an hour afterwards, and that's not pleasant. So I kind of envy the whole like you've come and you're pretty much done. Like you may get like 30 seconds afterwards of like things continuing, but I get more.
Yes.
Josh says porn in the woods, unintentional geocaching.
Oh, that's accurate, actually.
Wow.
Okay, so Rissy, what's a time that you remember, or like one of those early times you found?
Okay, so the earliest memory for me of anything porn spectrum was being in Blockbuster Video and walking by like the sex comedy movies, like, and this is in the 80s, so what you see, right, is like a woman's ass and legs on the video cassette, and she's like standing like, you know, facing away from the viewer,
and usually
like,
there's somebody
like
between the legs.
Yeah. But and then there was like the Red Shoe Diaries type of shit, like what was probably softcore porn.
Yes.
Based on the titles and the covers. And I remember like walking by it and seeing it and being like, like, you know, like, what's that? Why aren't we allowed to look at those movies? Because there was always this huge section of them in Blockbusters. And so yeah, that is like my first memory of like forbidden sex stuff out there. I never found any porn in the woods, which is greatly disappointing to me.
That is very sad.
I didn't really have a woods, so I didn't spend time in the woods. And I never stumbled onto a bag of porn, which is just so sad to me. I feel like I missed out on that. Yeah, no.
I would say my most memorable porn as a young person, though, because that like the bag was, I was pretty young. I don't really remember much about what I saw.
Sure.
But it was in comic book form when I was babysitting for some people. They had, and I don't know if it was like the kids. I mean, they were pretty young. If it was theirs or if it was their parents. But I remember going through and it was like, there's naked people and it was like, I'm going to read this when you guys are asleep.
And it was like drawn?
Yeah. Yeah, like comic books. Yeah, very.
That's really interesting, actually.
Like old-fashioned Tijuana Bible style?
No, like comic books, like graphic novels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In color.
Classy.
Yeah.
Huh.
I couldn't tell you anything about the story that was going on in the porn.
Sure.
I can't imagine.
In the porn, in the comic, but I definitely remember the nudity.
We'll always remember the nudity.
Interesting. The first time I ever saw like hardcore porn, I was in middle school, and there were a group of 4 of us girls who ran around together, and one of the girls, she was being raised by her single dad.
Oh boy.
And she stumbled onto her dad's stash and took one of them. And I can't remember where she said she found it. It was probably just in a closet, actually.
A closet or a dresser drawer or something.
Yeah, and I remember it was smaller than an actual magazine. It was like, yeah, it was smaller for some reason. But it was the first time I had ever seen like full-on penetrative sex portrayed. And it was just like so strange. And yeah, and so we looked, all 4 of us were like looking at this porn together and just being like, holy shit, that's what a penis looks like. Holy shit, that's what a vagina looks like. Holy shit, that's what it looks like when a penis goes into a vagina. So yeah, I was like 12 or 13, and I don't think he ever found out. I don't think there was ever any like anyone stumbled on it. I think we just ditched it, and that was that. But
and he probably had, like, I assume that if she didn't make a point to put it back, then it was like one of a bunch that he wouldn't notice what was
exactly.
Missing,
so this was not the first time I ever saw hardcore porn, but it is perhaps the funniest inadvertent discovery of hardcore porn in my life. So I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, which had a comic book store in the downtown area called Quality Comics, spelled with a KW. And that was where I bought my first D20, because they sold a lot of like D&D stuff, like a bunch of gaming things. And it was all like used, so it was cheap, and I didn't have much money. So when I started playing a lot of D&D, and I would have been 19 at the time, I went to buy a second ed advanced D&D player's handbook. And when I get home and open it up, what is tucked inside it but a smaller than a magazine, hardcore, like mid-80s, because there's still a full bush in there, porn. Somebody left their porn in their fucking player's handbook.
That's amazing.
Like giant bushes, like so many pubes. And I just saw it and I just laughed and I laughed and I laughed.
Oh man, we had my senior year of high school, the seniors did a production of Steel Magnolias.
Oh boy.
And the entire thing is basically set inside of a hair salon. And what do you do in a hair salon?
Look at porn.
You look at magazines. So, of course, just on the set, there were tons of magazines. And whenever we were in the scene, but not actually like the focus of the scene that was happening, you know, we'd be like in the background under like hair dryers and things and flipping through these magazines, because that's exactly what happens in the salon.
I love where this story is going.
Well, one night, so this is like an all-female show, and so we did all girls, and the boys did tech for us, and they did an all-boys show later on, and we did tech for them. So, of course, they did all of our props. And one night, they decided to swap all of the insides of the magazines.
Of course.
With porn. So yeah, there was one night where, and once we figured it out, we started fucking with each other. So I was in the middle of a line, and one of the girls is like looking over at me and showing me the porn and like pointing at it and being like, "Oh, did you see this? Did you see this?" And I'm like trying to engage with it, and she's over there fucking with me. It was just, it's pretty great, is what it was.
I had a friend who in college, his like college algebra textbook that he was going to sell back to the bookstore, went in and put like porn kind of hidden, like not what another person had taken that and completely replaced the book with porn, but it's like you can't sell that back because they do flip through it.
Yeah.
So, but he'd gotten the idea from that and just put porn in like kind of throughout, and they actually, I mean, they bought it back for like $5 because that's what they bought him back for. But like the idea being like, this may have ended up in somebody else's hands that, you know, are going through and like, oh, that is porn in my math book. So, hooray.
Porn in my math book. Of course, I guess there's also the ultimate porn discovery. You guys know what I'm talking about. After the gangbang that never happened. What I found. Okay, so I will picture it. Sicily, 1913. So I dated a guy who was a big old gaslighting, emotionally abusive asshole who also refused to have sex with me for nearly the entire time we were dating. He was also a member of Kansas City's original singing pirates, the Jolly Rogers. And we broke up after I went on a trip with three male friends, to go see my favorite band, Superdrag, perform in Chicago. And after I got back, said boyfriend broke up with me and then told all of our mutual friends that I had a gangbang with these dudes.
Yeah, but you did.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously. And the best part of it was that, so he had moved some of his stuff out, and I was moving, going and getting mine, and some of my friends, our friends, the Mercer twins, who are jugglers that we know from our Renfest days, and just really awesome guys. So they were helping me move my mattress, and what is underneath it but this motherfucker's gigantic stash of gangbang porn.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot this fucking story.
I'd forgotten the porn discovery at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just one of those, like, it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. And I mean, this would have cost a lot of money. It was movies, it was magazines, it was a lot of magazines. It was a bag of porn, only it was under the mattress. And he had just left it there. And so I'm like, okay, two possibilities. One, he thinks he did this after the fact to shame me for my horrible behavior. But what is more likely to me is that he had a gangbang fetish. And
so that's what, so of course, that's why it was in his brain to accuse you of it.
Right.
Of having a gangbang.
It's like cheaters who accuse their significant other of cheating. Yeah.
So yeah, that is like the awesomest occurrence of me finding somebody else's porn stash. I gave it to the movers.
That's very nice of you. Yeah,
I know, right? Like, I'm a giving girl.
So yeah, use hashtag Dork Pride Chat. Let us know when your first
gangbang. No.
Porn. I mean, you can if you want. We'll gladly share that story as well.
Dork Pride Chat, hashtag gangbang.
Yes, but yeah, either your first gangbang or the first time you found porn. Bonus points if it's the same event.
Right.
Impressive.
I would be impressed.
Ditched porn in the woods. We also want to hear about.
Yes,
we do want to hear about that. Yeah. I mean, we've clearly heard from the people in the chat right now that is definitely a thing where they kept it. But we want to hear from you guys who are not in the chat right now as well. So definitely, Facebook will post about this probably Friday, or feel free to tweet at us with the hashtag Dork Pride Chat. We are interested in your porn stories.
Yes. We are. But for now, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dork Pridecast. Of course, as always, we want to give a big thank you to Sarah Donner for allowing us to use music off of her latest album, Black Hole Heart.
You can find the Damsels of Dorkington on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, if you have a few minutes, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on iTunes. That is an old porn star's asshole-sized help to us that costs you $0.
But if you do want to contribute in the form of more than $0, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Damsels of Dorkington, where you can get access to rewards that are only available there, such as bonus podcasts or being on a list of super awesome people that we thank and sort of make fun of at the end of every show. But it's all out of love, so it's fine, right, guys?
Nobody has stopped being a patron because they didn't like how we talk about them.
Horrible things that we say about them.
Yes.
Speaking of how we talk about them, how should we talk about them this week?
We could put them into imaginary porn movies.
Oh God, I can only name one off the top of my head. So.
That's fine.
Does it have a character named Debbie in it?
Oh my God, how did you know? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's do it.
So first, we want to thank Travis and Wendy Mays, who did Dallas. Hi, stole it from you, Blythe.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And then they're friends with this chick named Debbie, and they what's the plot of that? Like, she has to have sex or she'll die or something like that. There's a reason why, because I feel like there actually is a plot to it where she has to have sex, but I've not seen it.
You know, there's a Debbie Does Dallas musical, right?
I did not know that.
That's a real thing. Better for knowing about that.
That's a real thing. So, just so you know.
I'm gonna.
Blythe, you have to go next because I have the perfect one for the third name on the list.
Of course you do. Okay, well, we also wanted to thank Aaron Pacific Rim Job Felsen.
I would like to thank in particular John Kozlowski, star of the 70s classic Paladin Fuck Machine, which is about the lawful goodiest sex machine ever.
Lawful goodiest.
Yes. His aura of protection only comes out at a certain crucial moment, if you get my drift.
I don't. What do you
No.
mean by that?
He ejaculates it in a 10-foot radius.
That's a lot.
That's a very lot. Amanda, can I take the next one?
Sure.
I would also like to thank Greg Human Millipede Milliken.
Oh my God, no. No.
The sexy version of Human Centipede.
What have you done? What have you done?
I just thought it'd be...
We also want to thank Justin Man Sandwichfield.
Hell yes! Look at you! Killing it!
I would like to thank Hard On Nelson, also known as Gordon Nelson.
And last but not least is Carlos Too Hot to Handle Macera.
We also want to thank Rusty Hill, Stephen Kendall, Jenny and Ryan Wienbenner, Jay Teller, Eric Ruggles, Zachary Drake, Joe Louie, Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, and Brandon, Katie, and Thomas David. So thanks for joining us, everyone. This has been episode 83 of the Dork Pridecast. We will see you all next week.
Deuces!
Jetpack.